All right. Your boy is back in the building for episode 3 of Conversations and Comments. I'm waiting on my people to get here. We just left TikTok, and I'm here ready for another exciting episode. Tonight, show does come with a trigger warning. We're going to be talking about some very adult things and some very tragic situations. Did we get it? Did we get it?
Hey.
Hello. Oh, you're protecting your anonymity. I like it. I assume you don't want to show your face on camera. Is that why we're all black?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's quite all right. I'm gonna have to let people know you want to protect your anonymity. Of course, we're going to be talking about some very difficult subject matter tonight, so they're just going to have to understand. This is indeed. Oh, wait a minute, I got the point in the other direction. This is indeed a person. She's choosing not to show her face. Okay, that's good. Can you show us something? Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, just keep it up so they know that there's a person over here. Thank you so much. I don't want them thinking I'm talking to a ghost. I appreciate you for joining me tonight. This is my very special guest. What would you like me to call you? I don't know. I know you don't want me to use your government name.
Tina.
Tina. Okay, very good. Tina. That's Tina and I'm Mike. Welcome to Conversations and Comments, where each and every week we get together and we talk about any and everything. I was doing this on my TikTok page, but now I'm splitting up the show so that my serious subject matter comes over to YouTube, where we're able to have those real conversations. And they're able to be stored and watched it at a future date so that we can help some people. So tonight's subject is going to be very, very difficult. So I'm going to start with it. I invited Miss Tina on, and she was so gracious because she has a lot of experience with some of the things that we will be discussing. So please keep that in mind, people. Please let me know once you arrive in the chat so we can chat you up. Everybody's a part of this show. So if you type it, I'm going to stop the show at some point and read out those comments as well. So please feel free to say or ask questions as we go along. But please be mindful and be respectful. We don't take too kindly to disrespect of any kind on my page. So I'm your host, Marquise. And again, my special guest has arrived, so we can go ahead and get this thing started. We have 9 people here already. The page is growing each and every week. So the more I do this, the better it'll be. So I just thank you all for showing up and showing some support. Michelle, hello. You made it. Okay, let me test this thing out. Am I pointing in the right direction? I am.
Yes.
See, but technically you are on my right. So this is what I want to do. But when I do this, they say I'm pointing at the wall.
Yeah.
So I'm having to learn. When I tell you these people they told me up last week on Conversations because I kept doing. I'm like, I'm trying to tell you all that is not the way I see it. So I'm having to train myself to do everything backwards. So yes. Again, my guest has chosen not to show her face. And again, this is some very serious subject matter, even though we're gonna try to lighten the mood up every now and then. So just keep that in mind as well. This ain't Fortnite. BB, who said anything about Fortnite?
Because Fortnite is on my TV.
Oh!
Y'all worried about the wrong thing.
His sense is like Bush Camp Mom. I'm not even sure what does that mean. I don't know what that means. If it's an insult, it didn't land because I don't know what that means. All right. Okay, folks, what we're going to be talking about tonight, let me just go ahead and just jump right on in it. We're going to be talking about adoption. We're going to be talking about 2 monsters in particular. It means a trash is born. I don't know where you're going. I have no idea where you're going. Please hit that like button as you guys are coming in so it'll send me out in the algorithm. And please drop your names in the chat and just, hey, throw up a hand and let me know. Please play Simple Edit. Is this Fortnite stuff?
Oh my God. Let me get it off of Fortnite.
BB is so serious about this Fortnite thing right now. Oh, we're not here for Fortnite. We're here for an actual, real conversation. My guest has just chosen not to show her face because we're going to be talking about some heavy stuff. So, with that, I don't know if you guys have seen the headlines. They've been out over the last couple of days, but we're going to be talking about Mr. William and Mr. Zachary Zulock. This couple, they are 34 and 36, respectfully. A gay couple, obviously. White guys out of Georgia. They got married back in 2013. Called themselves living a fairy tale life, where they adopted two young boys. I think they were 3 and 5 at the time. They built a Oh, I subscribe and like. Thank you so much for hitting that subscribe button, BB, and welcome to the show. Stick around. We talk about some good stuff over here. But they basically adopted these two boys and financed their lifestyles with these boys' bodies. I mean that literally. So these boys were adopted, and from the time they were 3 and 5, they began to abuse them, the fathers. So they did this, and then they recorded it. They did pictures, they did video, they did tons of texting, and they began to distribute this illegal activity, this criminal activity to other men just like themselves. And unfortunately, that is how they were discovered. But they did this. Excuse me. And bragged about it. They're excited about it. They made over $30,000 a month trafficking or pimping out their young boys. BB, I'm not understanding. What do you think is funny? What is funny about children being assaulted? How old are you, BB? You must be a child.
Gotta be.
You got to be a child. This may not be the room for you, sir or ma'am, BB, because there's nothing funny about children being molested. But yeah, so the both fathers were doing these things to these boys. They were pimping them out, inviting other men to participate, inviting other men, and just men are paying. They were making $30,000 a month off these boys. They built their dream mansion in Georgia. Homes in the neighborhood were selling for nearly $1 million. So this is a very affluent area, and they were paying for all of these things from basically having their children be trafficked. They were caught. They were arrested. They admitted full guilt to. They were charged with everything from SA to incest. Every crime you can think of, they were sodomy, um, uh, everything. And it wasn't just the essaying. They would punish these kids. They would have these boys standing in a corner 8 hours at a time as a punishment. The only
Mm-mm.
thing they could leave the corner for was to eat and to go to the restroom. 8 hours.
That's
Imagine being abused on a regular basis, and then you're punished in that way on top of it. Again, they were very popular on Instagram. I've seen several viral moments of all four of them together because people were they were actually part of the alphabet community, obviously, but they were advocates and basically spokesperson for their community. And so people, they were well liked and well respected, and nobody knew that they were monsters torturing these young boys behind doors. What really made this story particularly weird for me was that the father, William, the 34-year-old, had already been accused of SAing another boy even before they began the adoption process. So I could not understand how were they even allowed to adopt children. I thought it was that part I just could not understand. To make matters even worse, they adopted these children from a Christian adoption agency for special needs children. And my next question is, What God were they praying to?
Mm.
Okay. So we're gonna dig off into all this again. I know I'm gonna step on a few toes tonight, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna upset a couple of people, but some things just got to be said. And this right here is just a step too far in the wrong direction. But that is the conversation we're going to be having tonight. I'm just plain old floored at all of this. Needless to say, they're both in prison. They both got 100 years in prison apiece without the possibility of parole. So they will be 134 and 136 before they get to see that dream house again. So with that, I want to start the conversation around adoption with Miss Tina. Miss Tina, it's my understanding that you were in the foster care system
Yeah.
as a child.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now I will say these two boys, their parents were drug users.
Hmm.
That's what got them taken out of the home, and they spent time in foster care before they were put into this forever home with these monsters. So,
Hmm.
can you? I guess I would ask you to begin with. Do you remember when you entered foster care? Were you even old enough to remember?
Not old enough to remember, but they did keep in contact with my birth mom because my supposed born the man that was supposed to be my dad, his sister adopted me, my brother, and my other sister. Well, I was 6 months, my brother was 7 months, and my sister was 8 months old.
Okay.
And so we all got adopted around the same time, even though there's nine of us all together. I
Oh
only
wow.
them three.
So the
So,
three of you got. So all of you, all nine of you, have the same mom. Some same
hmm.
mom. Same
Yes,
mom.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. So they you guys were split up,
yeah,
and three of you ended up with the same family.
yes.
And what were your age? I'm sorry. Give me those ages again.
Uh, all I know is they said I was 6 months. My brother was 8, and my sister was 9 months old.
You were 6 months, and your sister was
We're
9 months.
not. I'm tripping. We're all a year apart. We're a year apart.
Well, I was gonna say, now how long now?
No, we're a year apart. I'm 37. My brother's 38, and my sister's 39.
Okay, so somebody was at least close to one.
Yeah. Look,
I
I
was like, I
remember.
didn't know he could have a baby in a month.
Look, yeah,
What is she,
we're
a puppy?
all of us, all of us are a year apart.
Okay. All right. So you went you were in the foster care system
Yeah.
very early. So so you weren't adopted by okay, and this is a question I have for people that were adopted. Were you in contact with your biological family at
Not
all?
till 8 years ago, I got back in contact with my mom,
Oh, okay.
and
Okay.
she's passed away, going on 3 years now.
Oh, I am sorry to hear that. Yeah, me and my mom were estranged for a very long time. After I started that conversation over on TikTok, but me and my mom, after my mom abandoned me and my sister. I basically raised my sister from the time I was 15 up until I got married at 21. We
Hmm.
are only a year apart, so we got
Yeah.
her set up in our apartment. We're still extremely close, but it was just me and her for a very long time. My mom would pop in every now and then. You know what I mean? She would show up. She was going through some things, and mainly it wasn't even drugs. It was just a relationship. She fallen in love. Mind you, my mom was a teenager when she had me. She was only 15, so I think she just had one of those midlife crisis, if you early midlife crisis, where she got to close to 30 and just looked at a child that was 15 and you're 30 and you feel like
Hmm.
maybe you missed out on life. I mean, I'm not giving her any excuses, but I think that may have done something to her. My father passes away, and you look around and be like, hey, life is short, and I've spent all my life raising kids. You know what I mean? Because she had
Hmm.
three. Me at 15, my sister at 16, and she had another baby, my baby sister, who passed when she was only 2, all before she was 20. So, you know what I mean? She was a
Yeah.
baby raising babies. So she basically fell in love, left, just never came back. She would call us from time to time. She would come and visit and be like, "Hey, I'm ready to change my life. I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to do that." Blase, blase. And before you know it, she stay a day or two and disappear, and it'll be one, two, as many as 4 years in between visits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it got to a point where it became damaging for me, and
Yeah.
I just basically said, and this was even after my daughter was born. She started that cycle up again. I'm like, look, either you're going to be in or you're going to be out. What I cannot allow you to do is to cause the same damage to me that cause the same damage on my daughter that you caused for me. So at that point, she decided she wanted to be out, and it was years before we spoke. Now, I never spoke ill of her to my daughter. My daughter, just grew up and naturally realized, hey, this lady's never around. And when she comes around, she's not dependable. And if she says something, it's probably not going to happen. So I just, what I
Yeah.
mean, I never had to trash her, but you sort of did it to yourself.
Yeah.
And long story short, because we need to get back to the actual subject. She this past year, she nearly was accidentally almost unalived herself. Back in June, the night before my 40th birthday, and she called me to wish me a happy birthday, and I didn't answer the phone. But something told me to, and we sat on the phone my entire birthday, probably about 8 hours, and had just a real deal conversation. We laughed, she cried, and she apologized, and she really meant it. She was talking about how she was getting baptized and changing her life. She ended the relationship that basically pulled her away from her kids, and she was
Mhm.
basically out on her own. I was super proud, but still had that side eye on her. And and I will say I have to give her a lot of credit that she has definitely improved a whole lot over these last few months. We were able to take a family trip together. My daughter turned 16. We took her on a cruise, and my mom went on that trip. It was a beautiful trip, and it was just reconnecting. You understand there's going to be bumps in the road, and a lot of grief and a lot of things that we have to work through, but I'm just so proud of where I've come maturity wise, and where she has come as well, with regards to um, not trying to uh, right her wrongs, but to just do better going forward, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. So yeah, that's the short version.
Yeah. My mom tried to get back in and out of our lives
Hmm.
here and there. And the last time she lived with us, I was in elementary school and she witnessed them sending me to predators' houses to get, and she would see them drop me off and then the person handing the money. And she told them, and she was like, I see what you do to my daughter, and my mom actually witnessed them essaying me, and they told her if she ever said anything again that she will never see us again for the rest of her life.
Oh my God.
And so when I was 15, they shipped me off to her on a bus from Texas to Washington with $20 for me to eat off of that whole bus trip there. And I'm like, I'm scared as heck. I've never been on a bus going this far. And so a journalist ended up giving me 200 and something dollars and telling the bus driver to make sure to keep an eye on me. And I don't know how much money she gave him, but every time she got off the bus, she made sure I was right there. Anybody that wanted to sit by me, she told them, hell no. And so when I got there, my mom was in jail. I stayed
Oh,
overnight at the bus station for 2 nights before she sent somebody who was a molester to pick me up.
your mom did?
Yeah, my mom did.
Was she aware of that? Did she know?
She was aware. They were supposed to drop me off at her house, which again, it was in a bad neighborhood. I was scared, and they was like, "Well, we're not going to keep you here. We're going to take you to my house." And I'm like, "Okay, well." I went to her house, but the lady knew about her husband. So what she did to protect me was she had her shotgun in her lap. She fixed my bed on the couch and she sat there and watched me the whole night. I'm like, is this lady finna try to unalive me?
Oh my
I'm
God.
15 and I'm not thinking about it. Then I was like, well, she was trying to protect me. Then, like, the next day, my mom came beating on the door, fighting me. because I was there.
Wow.
I'm like, well, again, I'm a child.
15.
Mm.
Oh my God.
I've been
So,
through so much in my 37 years of life that if I wrote a book, nobody would believe it.
my God. Okay, so you said so the your molestation began when
Or
you were 4. Do you can you remember?
remember every detail, how the house was set up, what was cooking on the stove, down
Oh,
to the words she said.
wow. So this was the adopted or the were
My
you
my adopted aunt, my well, she's really my aunt, but she adopted me, so I guess she was my adopted mom. It was her daughter. Then after her daughter was done, her daughter's
so it was
boyfriend.
a female that did
Yes,
this.
yes.
And how old was she?
She was old enough to know better
Okay.
because she was
Okay.
already graduated from high school.
Oh, she was a grown woman.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So after she done did what she ever did, she done was doing. Then her boyfriend picked up the slack, and
And
then
and she was aware of it as well.
I told any and everybody I could about it, and then they sat me down in front of the whole family and was like, "How did he touch you? Da 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 this and that." And I'm like
Wow.
scared to
Putting the victim on trial.
So I started explaining to it, and they just started laughing about it and everything. He was like, "Well, let me move away from her, cause she gonna say I touched her."
Oh my God. So nobody took you seriously.
Nobody took me serious until I tried to unalive myself by drinking bleach and taking 40 different bottles of pills, and just had diarrhea.
Oh my God. And how old were you then?
I was 10 when I did that.
Did you cause any internal damage at all? That
No,
is very
just diarrhea.
it just
Now,
wasn't your time.
diarrhea in the lost, and I used to be able to run super fast. So when I did that, it just took my that gift away from me, the
Wow.
speed away.
Wow. So were you hospitalized after that?
No, no,
You kidding?
they didn't take me to the hospital either, and then I ended up getting pregnant from him. Ended up having a miscarriage, and they still didn't take me to the hospital.
How old were you when that occurred?
I was 13 when that happened.
Jesus.
Hmm. And my
Okay.
don't talk to me at all. So they basically abandoned me, and so it's just me and my wife's family.
Oh,
And I've
okay.
been with her for 17 years. I actually met her at when I aged out of foster care.
So you've been with her since you were 20,
19.
19, 19.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so did you so you never so I'm assuming you just were never were you did you ever date men at all or you were just never
I
not
did
interested?
disgusting.
Say that again.
I said I did, but they just disgusting.
Well, put my head down.
No offense. I just
It's too late, Tina. Let me just drop my head, Lord. Men are
no, I
disgusting. Oh my,
say men was just not my cup of tea.
it was not.
It's so much done happened to where I was like, well, with both sides. So I guess since she
And
was,
that's yeah, because you got it both ways. So I
yeah,
can't even say it was because of you having
mm,
you had bad experiences with both genders.
yeah, I just felt more comfortable with her. So
Mm, okay. All right. Jesus, that is tough. Well, congratulations on being
like,
married that many years. That is something that doesn't happen very often. So congratulations on finding your forever. That's a very
thank
good thing.
you.
Um. Wow. So when did it end?
When I got back and when in school there was always people looking at bruises, saying that I smelled funny coming to school, noticed that I wasn't, having new clothes. So throughout high school, it was always a teacher or somebody buying my school clothes,
Mm.
and different stuff like that. There was only one lady, which I finally called her. She called me yesterday. It was the attendance lady. And she was like, I'm going to make you this one promise. And I was in ninth grade. She said, I am not going to stop fighting for you until you're ending up out of your aunt's care.
Yeah.
And so she worked and worked. And I didn't get out of my aunt's care until I was 15, 16. It took them from the age of 4 to 16. The lady said, you know how the old phone books used to be, the yellow books, how they were so
Oh
thick?
yeah.
They said they had a case this thick on me. And they
Jesus.
was like, we're sorry we took so long to get to you.
Jesus. So this your biological aunt?
Supposedly. But then my mom told me when I was 25 that the person that adopted me is really no kin to me at all. That
Oh,
my dad was in federal state prison, has been there since the day I was born.
okay.
And he passed a year before my mom. So
Wow.
he's been gone 4 years and my mom's been gone three and a half.
Oh, Thor is back in the building. Thor, for those of you who missed last week's show, it's available to watch back live. Thor was my special guest last week. That is the massage therapist that we ended up having a great interview last week with him. You can go back and watch that live. We talked about baby mamas and catfishing while dating, and dating as a single father. So it was a very very good live. Please go back and check it out. And thank you for joining me again, Thor, tonight. I have another special guest over here in the box, Miss Tina. Tonight is a triggering episode. Just a fair warning for you all, which is why she's not showing her face. I'm still messing this thing up. She just wants to, maintain her anonymity, and I'm quite comfortable with that because this is some very very difficult and sensitive subject matter. So let's please be kind and be very sensitive to as she's sharing her testimony and bits and pieces of her story. So
But
um,
one of
yeah,
the cases that I'm still fighting since from when I was 16 is I was sexually assaulted by a serial rapist. And so they're trying to get him off. I've been fighting that case or been pending trial since COVID started.
yeah.
And so she just called me yesterday saying everything is still planned, proceeding to go to court and this and other stuff. So it's my whole life is a living hell.
Oh my God. Um, BB, I'm trying to be kind to you. I'm going to remove this comment. One more of those from you, and I'm going to hide you in the comments so you won't be able to comment for the duration of this live. Okay? I've
But
asked you very nicely to be respectful of my guest, and you seem to not be able to abide by that. So, although I do appreciate your support and for you showing up, I don't appreciate you being disrespectful to me or my guests. So, we're going to kindly show you to the door with your next offense. That is your third and final warning.
but
Okay.
it's not. It wasn't just me that it was happening to.
Oh, because there were you had two other
Yeah.
siblings in the house.
Yes, it happened to my brother and my sister. My sister's fighting tooth and nail saying it didn't happen. And my brother finally came out and said, yeah, my sister's not lying. It actually did happen. But they're still on his side, but they're still saying that I'm lying. Not only
Wow.
that, I've seen her do it to other kids in the neighborhood. And yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, because a lot of the people that I know that have gone through trauma of that way, they either become very defensive, very I don't know how to describe it,
Overprotective, observant. Yeah.
or they become extraordinarily promiscuous. So, what was the case for you and your
No,
siblings?
I think since like what I go through, so if I see another man or a woman looking at a child, like not to where I'm quick to protect that child. Going, no, why was you looking at her like that? Why did you put
Oh,
her on your lap like that? So I'm very, overprotective of kids.
okay. Made you very, very protected. Do you have kids of your own or no?
No, I had to get an emergency hysterectomy because I had fibroid tumors.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know about that too. My gosh. Okay.
But I
Um.
had
Well, have you considered adopt since we're talking about adoption, and I have you and your
a,
wife considered?
no headaches. No, I like to get in my car and go.
You like the simple life.
Yeah, I want to sleep. And I got a puppy, a 10-month-old puppy and a cat. That's all I need.
What kind of puppy?
I have a Chihuahua Terrier.
Oh no, those are the worst ones. They always think they running things.
And he do.
Yeah, we have a Maltese. So you know if you know anything about them, they about 5 pounds, little snow white dogs. There,
Mm-hmm.
and he think he is the. His name is Killer, and he thinks he is just that.
Yep. My
It's hilarious.
he had him since he was 3 weeks old.
Mm. Okay, so um, with you experiencing so much trauma and being introduced to sex in such a negative way, did it make you apprehensive about being intimate, or did you find intimacy with anybody to be appalling at some time or for a while, or what made how did you overcome it if that was an issue, if it ever was?
Now, like I said, by the time I came to that point, I was already used to it. So when I got with my wife or whatever, it was just like natural. I didn't think anything of it. So I wasn't scared or nervous or anything because at that point I was already used to it, and I felt like, well, they ain't gonna hurt.
Oh wow. Okay, so but I'm liking how I'm pointing the wrong way. I'm liking how you're describing it though, because to me it sounds like washing dishes for you. Do
Yeah.
you do you just see it as yeah, as just a chore, or you don't do you get anything out of it?
Oh,
Oh,
I get it. I get everything out of it.
oh, good. I mean, I'm not trying to be too graphic,
No,
but you
I know.
know, because I think about I don't know if you've ever seen the film Introducing Dorothy Dandridge. It's one of my favorite films. Well, I love just about everything Halle Berry's in. But basically, in the film, her mom and her mom was in a lesbian relationship with another woman. They didn't at that time, and back in the day they didn't call it that though. It was just mommy's special friend. But anyway, the step parent, the stepmom, was obsessed with the girls remaining virginal, and so they started dating boys, as all teenagers do. And she wanted to check her to make sure she was still a virgin. So it equated to basically a sexual assault, where she would,
Yeah.
you know, check her. And I can remember a part of the movie where she got married to her husband, and it kept every time she was being intimate, or he wanted to be intimate with her, it would give her flashbacks, and it just made her very, very tense. And
Yeah.
it was never enjoyable because
Yeah.
of the molestation on that happened to her at home.
The only
Even
that triggers me is when I smell of the perfume she used to wear. She used to wear White Diamonds by Elizabeth Taylor.
I remember that.
When
Yeah.
I smell that, that's the big trigger for me.
Okay.
Big,
Okay, now and I'm glad you're here tonight, because I had a special guest on my TikTok page where she said, and it turned into a crazy debate. But basically, she was very, very fair skinned. She's Italian and black, but she could pass for white any day. And she was on my live, and we were talking, and of course she had a pretty I'm sorry, wrong point. She had a pretty tragic story as well, but she said that she could never date a man that was darker than her, because she was afraid of men, because it was always a dark skinned man with dreadlocks that would do things to her. So it was a strange conversation with me sitting there with my dreadlocks and my brown skin.
I was
It was very weird. But she was like, no, no. And, she tried to, come off of it. But by the end, the damage was done, and it turned into like a 2 hour, not a debate, but we were just trying to understand, you know what I mean?
yeah.
How were those, how did those two things get locked in the way that they got locked in? So, but do you feel uncomfortable? Well, it was like I say, you referenced the female, but you also had males that did it as well.
Yeah.
So,
So this guy that did it, he liked Big Mo. So anytime I hear anything by Big Mo, that triggers me too.
okay. Okay. Um. So were you? What was it? Just the one guy, or
Mhm.
there?
It was multiple, but I don't. My mom sent remembered the other ones, but I didn't remember. I don't remember the other ones. She said, I guess I was so young, I couldn't remember them.
Okay. So you remember the one guy and then the aunt.
Hmm. No, yeah, the aunt. Not the aunt, but her daughters.
The daughters with an S?
Daughter, no daughter.
Oh, okay, okay, a
What?
daughter.
Well,
Okay, the
yeah,
aunt's
you
daughter.
can say daughters because one of them tried it, but it didn't. It didn't stay long.
Okay. So this was technically your cousin then.
Yep, basically.
Okay, so are you have you been in communication? I always wonder, do you ever speak to those people? Do they ever admit
Well,
or
they
attempt
all
to
they
apologize?
got me on blocked on everything, and I've been talking about it here and there, and they was like, "Why do you keep bringing it up?" And I said, "Well, all I ever wanted, I didn't want to get her in trouble or this and that." I said, "All I ever wanted was an apology, and she can't even
Right.
get an apology." They was like,
So
"Why do
so
you
she just won't own up to it at all.
own up to?" And she even left the state of Texas.
Wow. Does she have kids of her own, or what? Do you know anything?
Yeah,
Anything?
she got two little girls. She had two little girls.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay, that's very, very interesting. So, are you a religious woman at all?
Yep.
You are, okay.
Mhm.
Um, how did faith play
Yeah.
a large part into your healing journey? Because, like I say, what I am picking up just from your conversation is that you are so far in the healing journey that you're able to recount these things without the pain behind them anymore. And I think that's a wonderful place to be. I can remember there were times where I would start telling parts of my history, my story, parts of my own testimony, and I would just break down. Anytime I would talk about my wife or my daughter, or almost dying carrying my daughter, I would just break down. But I've gotten to the point where I've gotten to that healing place where I'm able to give that testimony to help somebody else, and I can give it now without that pain. The pain is still there, but it doesn't grab hold of me, and that's what I'm sensing in the conversation that you and I are having. So
Yeah.
uh,
Well,
it's
it's a funny story, but not funny story.
mhm.
Cousin that was doing the molestation. I never knew how to swim until she drowned me.
Oh, you're gonna have to elaborate on that one, friend.
So I was on her back, and she was trying to teach me how to swim because I'm only 5 foot.
Oh,
So,
my daughter is 4'11" and a half.
so I would always get on her back, thinking.
Yeah.
So she pulls me off from her back and holds me under the water. One of my lungs was full, and the other one was half full. To this day, I still don't know, and no one knows, and no one's seen the man jumping over the gate into the pool, pulling me out, doing CPR, and all of that. Nobody's ever seen him.
So
And
she was literally trying to drown you.
she literally drowned me. I would have been dead if whoever didn't come and get me out of that pool and did
Oh
CPR.
my god. Did you
All I
go to did you were hospitalized after that, I assume?
no, they
With
would
your lungs full of water?
wouldn't take me to the hospital. EMS came and listened to my lungs and was like, she needs to go. They was like, she'll be okay. We'll watch her or whatever. They was like, we,
Oh,
we have to, we're concerned about secondary drowning. And they was like, she'll be all right.
oh my
So
god.
I remember I seen the person when I opened my eyes, I seen the person standing there. But when I looked back, he was not there anymore. So
Jesus.
I'm like, was that my angel? But
Well, let me ask this then, Miss Tina. Um, uh, you have had a whole lot of trauma. Were you ever angry with God for
I,
for, for the
I
things
so
that
many, I did.
you were angry?
Yep. I was kept asking like, why me? What did I do? This and that. And I kept saying that he wasn't real. If he was, I wouldn't have been through what I've been through.
Oh, and what changed your mind, Miss Tina?
My crazy wife and her grandma.
You kid, you were kidding. So you were an atheist or a non-believer when you guys met?
I know I believed, but I just didn't understand him and
Okay.
methods of. Then I they was like, it's not him that allowed these things to happen. Yes, he gave people the choice, but it was the devil that caused it.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not. I'm sure. I still don't understand it, but I'm not gonna question it. I know God's here, because if he,
Well, you know what? I rest on that everything happens for a reason.
yeah,
Even the bad things happen for a reason. I think back on when my father passed, when my uncles all passed, when my mama walked out on me, you know, and all the hurt and pain that I experienced as a result of all those experiences. What I do now understand, now that I'm, so that I'm so far removed from those situations, is I would not be the person I am today had it not been for those situations. So even though they were terrible situations, they helped shape me into the person that I am, so that I am now strong enough, tough enough, and able to stand before people and deliver these testimonies. I'm able to help people, or give that inspiration, or shed that light, or show people that, hey, you can overcome anything. I've been through these things, and look how great life has turned out for me.
mm-hmm,
And just like I've been through these things, um, yeah, you can overcome those same trials and tribulations as well. So I just think
right,
what you go through is in preparation for you to be of service to others. That's the way that I see those dark days for everybody, because everybody has a testimony. Everybody's gone through something, but there's a few of us out here that utilize that pain, that utilize those bad situations to help other people. I do it all the time, and you're doing it right now. So I appreciate you, but yeah, I totally understand. As bad as things are, you wouldn't be the person you are if it weren't for those situations. You know what I mean? And look, you're now a an angel and a protector for other children,
right,
because you know the signs, you know what to look for, and you'll stand in the gap and help those that have experienced or will experience those things. So yeah, so for those reasons, maybe you were chosen. You know what I mean? So I get it. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't want my life to be the way it was either, but it made me appreciate, like my mom walking out and my dad being unalive. I know what it's like to be without both parents.
yeah,
And so that when me and my wife got married, it made me that much more committed to our relationship, because I said, hey, if we bring kids in this world, I never want them to feel that pain and that hurt that I felt growing up, that longing that I had. I mean, I can remember learning to tie a tie on YouTube because, hey, I didn't have dad around to teach me. You know what I mean? Just simple
right,
things. And I said, I never want to be in a household where I'm picking up my kids on the weekend. I'm only seeing them, a couple of hours here and there. You know what I mean? So it made me appreciate it. And even now, when I know you guys enjoy what we do on TikTok, but people do not understand. It's the greatest joy of my life to be able to share those moments with my daughter, where I'm here, and it's a fun video for the public, but for me, it's a memory, because
right.
what you guys see is the finished product. When I look at those videos, I see every mistake, I see every take that we did, I see all the editing, I see when we came up with the concept, I see us laughing in the background, us messing up, all those things. That's what I see when I see the videos you see. So you guys see one thing and I see something totally different. But
I put the
uh
bloopers up
but
too.
what's that?
I said you need to post some bloopers too.
Oh, hey, if you've noticed, you guys have never seen a blooper.
Post some
I'm a perfectionist, though. That's why I refuse. And I have several that I would
I
love
used
to show you
to
all, but I cannot let people see me making mistakes.
oh wow.
Oh, I am very bad. And that's why it takes me so long to put out content, because I want everything to be its best. It's really, really bad. Luckily for my daughter, she's a natural. So anytime we're having to retake or redo things, it's because
It's
I'm
always
trying to measure up to
up.
what she's doing. But no. Um, but yeah, but it's just those things that just makes me appreciate, being a dad, to be able to wake up and to give my children that, the things that I did not have. You have a mother that loves you and that's here for you. Your daddy is tough, but you understand your daddy has been through a lot. And again, I'm still working through some of those things. I've gotten a lot better as I've gotten older. But I'm gonna dish out that tough love, but I'm gonna make sure that I hug you and let you know I love you. I'm gonna spend time with you, do all those things for you that I wish were done for me. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't be, I don't think I would be that person had it not been for all the pain I experienced growing up. Does that make sense? I hope
Yeah.
it makes sense. All right, let me grab some of these comments. Mr. Thor is in the building. He's saying the bloopers are the best part. You guys may
Yes.
never see that. May be my final TikTok before the TikTok is taken down. I will
Uh,
give you guys a
It was
blooper reel.
before the new year.
I just no, I can't do it. Thor is also saying some things. Oh goodness, I can't read tonight. Sometimes things happen to teach others. I think, yeah, I think we covered that. So I think we're all in agreement on that. So your wife helped with your healing process and,
Yeah.
and faith in God. So I think that is beautiful. That is really really beautiful. So you did speak briefly on attempting to end your life.
Mhm.
Did you was that your only attempt?
Oh no. I've from the age of 7 all the way up till 16. I tried to drink bleach, take pills. I tried to hang myself. The rope snapped.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
I
there have been numerous
I
attempts.
yeah, I tried to slit my wrist, but it was always an inch not deep enough.
Wow.
So yeah.
And was it just from the pain that you were going through that you didn't want to
Yeah.
go on anymore?
Mhm.
I can imagine. I can totally imagine that. Wow. Oh, that's. Oh, what goes through your mind at that moment when you just decide, hey, I don't want to be here anymore? Do you? Is it just
I
like,
I don't think it's just like it's like I black out
okay,
and I like it's a blur and I don't remember anything. It's just like I go numb and I just go off impulse and just do whatever or grab whatever is the first thing by me. And then
wow.
once I do that, and I just don't remember anything after that point.
See, now did you have to go to counseling at all, or you were able to
Yeah,
just get? You
I did.
did. Okay. So how long were you in therapy? Are you still in therapy?
I was in therapy for about a year.
Okay. Okay. So, would you recommend? I'm assuming you'd recommend it to others. Then
Yeah, yeah.
it was very helpful.
If
Oh my.
you do it, make sure you give it your all, because if you're not ready, it's not gonna work.
Okay. Okay. Do you remember your last attempt?
Oh no,
You don't.
it's been so long ago.
Look at you. That's a good thing, right? I'd be a lot more afraid if you were like, "Yeah, it was last month."
No, it's been some years.
Oh, dude. Oh man. Dang. Thor says, for me, it was a feeling of worthlessness. So, Thor, you attempted as well. I've never gotten to that point of not wanting to be here anymore. I've wanted to take other people out of the world, but I never wanted to take myself. And I think I was just, I think maybe it was because I was so
Oh,
steeped in religion that I always thought that, hey, if you do that, you're going to end up, in hell. So
I,
that,
I I had that feeling, and I actually went through with that too, and actually tried to set the house on fire with them in it.
oh, okay. So you've done it all.
Done it all. I feel like I'm
I'm
really
not. Please,
ill.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing
No,
with you.
you're
So
good.
that's a nervous
No,
laughter.
you.
Oh my
I made
goodness.
my whole life feel like I was in hell. Y'all gonna feel what I felt, pain, whatever. But then they came to the room and put it out before it could spread. So
She tried to burn them up. I'm not even mad at you. Burn them up because that's just not right. So none of these people have faced justice or had to go to jail or anything
no,
for what they did. They're just walking around.
Yep. Because when I got put in the foster, when they the foster people, because they left me at the mental hospital, and they told the people told them either you're gonna come back or we're gonna put her in the foster care system, and they was like, well, we don't want her. And so when they put me in the foster care system, I was telling them what was going on. And so she made it feel the lady that was doing it made it seem like I was saying that my aunt did it. So while she's on the phone
Sorry to hear that, Thor.
CPS office, she going, you need to tell them that they're getting ready to take my mom to jail right now because you said that she did this to you and did that to you, and they're gonna take you away to Corpus Christi and you're never gonna see us again. And all I kept saying was, I never said it was her. I said it was you. So I kept saying that, me not thinking they're recording this phone call. So while you're trying to scare me into saying that it I lied about it, they're gonna go back and watch the tapes. And so he snatched the phone and told me to go back in the other room, in the waiting room at the CPS agency. And he came back out and said, don't worry about it. You're never gonna see them people again. And that was the last time I seen them.
Oh wow. So, did you end up in another foster care home after
Yeah,
that?
from there I was just in and out the foster in and out from different foster homes.
Oh. Being bounced from foster home to foster home throughout your life, I've always wanted to ask this. Does it make you feel like nobody wants you, or just like you're just a rag doll just being tossed about?
No, I when it came to that point, I was already used to it from them sending me to different family member, and I was like, well, I'm used to it. So I kept asking her, how are you coping with all this? I was like, well, when you've been through it all your life, it just seems like the normal. And I was like, I wouldn't feel normal to stay in one household too long, because then I'm gonna start rejecting that parent because I'm so used to rejection. So I reject people before I get rejected.
Wow. So it becomes self sabotage to a degree
Yeah.
then.
Like,
Okay, so I'm glad. Well, see, we're getting there. Did you do you feel like you suffered in your romantic relationships because of that as well?
well, this relationship is the really only relationship I've been in.
Oh, but even that, because I could say, and I'm only asking because I could think of when me and my wife were dating. We dated from 12 to 19 before we got engaged, and then we got married at 21. But I could say, even in that relationship, due to the abandonment that I suffered, and not having the dad around, that my wife suffered immensely. For me, I called it just building a wall. You know, when you
Yeah.
go through so much, you put up a wall for people so they never actually see you in your vulnerable state. So,
No, I never put up a wall because I'm an open book. I'm a Virgo. Whatever anybody want to know, I'm gonna let you know, and whatever you don't want to know, I'm gonna still let you know.
mm, okay. Well, in my case, it was more of a and I didn't mind. I mean, obviously she'd been around for it all, so she'd known what I'd been going through. But it was one of those things where I would never show the pain. You know what I mean? I would never, or even how much I cared or how much I loved her. You know what I mean? It was one of those things where you were always on the edge of, you know what I mean? And I would struggle with the word love. I would show, and even now I still struggle with it to a degree. And now I make sure I say it to my kids on a regular basis because, especially girls, I just think they need to hear it. But love is that word I don't use very often. And when I say it, it really means it has an impact because I don't say it a whole lot. But I would show you I love you all day long. But just to say it, I was so damaged. And I was like the one person that was supposed to love me the most walked out on me. So that word just meant it didn't mean a whole lot to me. You know what I mean? So you have to show me. I was one of those show me people. And she's one of those people that wants to hear it. So that was a tussle for a while with us. We've come to a pretty good balance nowadays, but I can say that even after we got married, there was still a wall. She could peep through every now and then and see the soft spots, but I would never be fully vulnerable, even with her. It took me years to break down those walls to the point where I was, I think to truly love a person, you have to be willing to be hurt. and I just didn't want to be hurt anymore. So I would give you enough. I would never give you 100%. Not that I was being unfaithful or anything, but it was just I wouldn't give you everything. And it wasn't until after we got married that she got to through all the walls, and I finally began to heal in a way that I was willing and open and vulnerable enough to allow myself to love fully and to be willing to be hurt. Although she hasn't hurt me yet, so we'll see. We shall see. So I was wondering, did those experiences play out? Because I think it affects everybody in their adult life, in ways that they may not even recognize, especially in relationships when they've had those type things.
Yeah, in the first year did, but
Yeah.
like I said, shit, I'm a handful.
Are you?
I'm a handful. I'm
What
not
sign
good.
are you? I'm not that good at with astrology, but
I'm
what
a
sign are you? You're a who?
Virgo.
Virgo. I'm a Gemini, and through. My wife does say I have a couple of personalities, and I can believe it. Yeah, well, and it's true, and I know it to be true because it's like one of those things where I'm just like a light switch. I mean, you see all 32 of my teeth all the time, but the minute you hit the wrong button, the switch goes off and I
Oh,
become a different person. And I used to be so vicious with it. I thank God, honestly, for delivering me from a lot of that hurt, because it made me turn into a very vicious person. It was one of those things where I would love you to death
yeah.
until you hit the button. And when you hit the button, the light switch goes off. And I don't feel better until you feel worse. You know what I mean? And it was one of those things where I'm going and I'm digging for the hard. And there have been many of people, and like I say, me, even my wife, that I've went for the hard of, just because
I,
you
oh,
get so used to fighting for
mm,
everything.
mm.
You know what I mean? And I'm thankful that we're in a place now that I no longer feel the need to have to fight. Now, that little fighter is always there. You know what I mean? So the tongue is still very very sharp, but
Oh
I,
yeah,
I,
I
I, I
right.
I hold back a whole lot more. I only use it when I absolutely have to now. So,
Yeah,
go
I tell
ahead.
nice as you want me to be is up to you.
Correct.
It
Correct. Yeah, and like I
shows
said, I
how
just
you
made my own
are.
interpretation of the Bible. I do unto others as they do unto me.
Mm.
If you're nice to me, I'm gonna love you to death. But if you mean to me, yeah, I'm gonna make you my
Listen, I'm,
enemy as
I'm one
well.
of them people that tell the Lord, take a break. I got this.
Correct. And that's the thing. That was a struggle with me for a very long time, is letting the Lord fight the battles. I'm like, no, he has other things to do. I
Mm.
got this.
Yep,
Yeah, me and you we're
he
the
got
same on
bigger
that.
fish to fry.
Yeah. Oh, Cicely says she made it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate you. Keep the chat rolling. We're having a wonderful conversation tonight. We're talking adoption. We're talking about some childhood trauma and healing, and how you got over that kind of thing tonight. We were actually started this conversation around the two guys out of Georgia, Mr. and Mr. Zylock, William and Zachary, who adopted these two boys, and then basically essayed them and pimped them out to support a lifestyle where they built a mansion and made over $30,000 a month. Off these two little boys that they were supposed to love and take care of. They've been since put in jail. They were recently sentenced to 100 years without the possibility of parole. So they won't see that mansion that they built ever again. And I thank God for it. But that is where this conversation began. But I have a special guest here, Miss Tina, who's gone through the adoption center and had some very traumatic events occur in our own life, and I thought it would be wonderful to have somebody here with me to be able to have a more impactful show and a much better conversation. I can only give the testimony that I have, and a lot of these things are just not a part of my testimony. So I just love to have people here who are open and willing and able to share, because it helps people in ways that even I don't recognize until after I hit this button and go back and watch it 2 or 3 weeks later. So I just thank Tina for being here and being willing and able to share her testimony with us. Um, So, are you in contact? You said, did I may have already asked this. Are you in contact with your siblings at all? You
Um,
said they blocked you, right?
not my sibling. On my adopted mom's side, my adopted aunt side, no. I just recently, was it 8 years ago, found my twin sisters. There are about to be 18 next,
Oh,
and so I seen them one time when they was 15. They stay in Arizona. Me and my wife traveled to go see them.
is it very okay? And I'll give you this part of my testimony as well. My father was a womanizer and an abuser, so he beat every woman that he ever had, my mom included, which is why what was the demise of their relationship. But I have to say that he was never abusive towards any of the kids. But of course, I witnessed a lot of these things,
Mhm.
so it still inadvertently caused some trauma. He had 8 children, 7 that were still living when he passed. One was only about 6 months. Of course, I'm super close to I call her my sister, and that's because we have same mom, same dad. They were married. But of course, I have a host of half siblings. I attempted to try to build relationships with each of them, and it just never seemed to work out. And I just think distance and time is what caused a lot of that separation. Now, at one time, 3 of them were living a block from us, and we were cool, but they were little. The next child, me and my sister are 1 year apart. The next child down is 10 years from me, so that's a huge
Yeah,
age gap. And even after they got grown, I just think that it was just one of those things. You haven't been around me, you don't really know me, and I don't really know you. You've had a whole nother life in a whole nother state, and I just think it just becomes very, very challenging to try to build those type relationships. I've attempted a couple times, but it never meshes. I have one sister, half sister here that I can call her. Just show up for each other's functions, that sort of thing. But it's nothing like my sister, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's just always like
yeah.
a veil there. I don't know how to describe it. What has your experience been
I
like?
tried to reach out to the ones that I wasn't raised with, but they're
Mhm.
all on drugs and they all have their hand out because it's like, how do you paying for college, and how do you are in a relationship and you got this and got that and we don't have anything. You need to help us. You need to let us come live with you. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know you.
Right, right.
Sorry, I just don't know you, but I'm your brother. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know that. My mom had, yes, she had 9 kids, but truth be told, she don't know
Hey, Cicely.
where they are. And now all of these people are coming and saying, oh, I'm your brother and this and that. One of them even went as far as saying their birthday was my birthday, their year was my year. And I'm like, how is that?
Exactly.
It's like, I know for damn sure I'm not a twin.
For real, that's the only way that works.
And so I was calling the imposter for so long, even though my mom had this thing where she wanted to find all her kids. So whoever came to her and said, I'm your child, she was like, okay, you're my son, because she was longing to find all of her kids. So
Thor said I would have been like, you need to get out my face.
that it was over the phone because I've never seen them a day in my life.
Okay. Okay.
I was born in Erie, Pennsylvania, but then when I was 4, we moved from Erie to Waco, Texas.
Oh
And
wow.
so, yeah.
Well, let me ask this: did you ever? I know you've attempted to end things. Did you ever turn to drink or drug at all?
Oh, mm-mm. No, it wasn't for me.
Never. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Now yeah. I've never drank or smoked a day
Now
in my life.
I
Yeah.
take shots for every once in a while, but I'm not no just outright drinker.
Yeah. We used to vacation with some friends, and they would ask me to have one drink with them at some point during the vacations. I would do that like once, and just never. It was just never a thing for me.
Yeah.
I didn't like the taste. It was just disgusting to me. I'm like, you guys are paying all this money for something that you got that's an acquired taste. No, thank
I
you.
I drink Tennessee Fire, and I do about 2 or 3 shots of that,
Okay.
and
I
I
have
love
I
that.
have no clue what that is. I'll take your word for it. Thor says that he does drink socially as well. Cicely, thank you for joining us. If you're typing it, we reading it, friend. Um,
You kept me longer than I wanted. I see what you did.
what you mean? I opened the floor and you gave your testimony. This has been a beautiful conversation. Oh
Look,
my
it's been a whole
gosh.
hour.
Look, but this has been wonderful. You know what I
It,
mean?
it,
I really did. I'm not going to keep you all night, but it's just been These are the conversations I like to have. Those that have an impact. Those that are of substance. You know what I mean? We can talk all day about Netta and Charles and all the stupid stuff they talk about on that app, but when we have these real deal life conversations, when people come in and share their testimonies and share their lives. This is what I exist for. You know what I mean? Just to
now
be
I
able
wouldn't
to
mind coming back
connect.
another night, and if you need to rehash the conversation with some other people that will may like to join and answer questions, I'll come back.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay. Well, with that, I'm going to let you go. I do want to give you the opportunity to share anything else that you would like to add to the conversation, any advice that you would like to give people, especially those of us out here with children or people that even thinking about fostering kids. Because at one time I actually thought about it. But like I said, I was so afraid, especially after we started having kids of our own, that I would end up with, a kid that I won't say is messed up, but a kid that has gone through some things, and then
Yeah,
you bring that into my household, and then affect my children in ways, and then I would feel
you know,
bad for having it. I'm trying to help you, and you damage people in my house. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's a selfish way of thinking about
just
it.
have a talk with your kids and let them know that a kid that you may be adopting is going to be emotionally damaged,
Mhm.
and just let them know what to look out for, and make sure you do have locks on your kids' doors, but not like when I was in foster care, they always had locks on the refrigerators. Like,
Okay.
unless they wanted, don't do that. Don't
Okay.
deprive any kid of food.
That's insane.
And especially like don't have them in a freaking walk-in closet sharing a room with four other girls. Like, treat them like if you're gonna go adopt kids, even if it's for the money, make sure that kid is comfortable because you are still getting paid for that kid.
Mm.
And people want to go out and adopt or foster these itty bitty babies like they're the only ones that's damaged. The ones that really need it the most is from 13 on up,
Mm-hmm.
because they're the ones that feel like they're garbage, they're trash, and those are the ones that get lost in the system. That come
Mm-hmm.
out and be breaking in your house, robbing and unaliving you, when it could have took one person, to change that kid's life.
Absolutely.
So just
Absolutely.
if you're gonna take your time with small kids, do it for the bigger kids because the smaller kids can be adopted out. And because people want children, babies, before they would go to the adult for to the teens.
Right, because you're able to mold them.
Yeah,
Like I said, when you get to teenage, your mind's made up. You've had some experiences. Like the thing that would bother me is I bring you in, I raise you up from 13 or 14. The first time you get mad at me, you holler, "You ain't my dad." I think about crazy stuff like that. I'm like, what?
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I kind of understand how they feel about by getting them when they little, because it's a lot less likely
But
than go
again,
ahead.
those they don't keep the little bitty babies. Foster parents, they have the opportunity to adopt them, but normally they're only in that home for a certain amount of time until the family
Yeah,
clean up their act.
yeah,
So why not adopt a kid that you can have in your home to guide them?
Well, let me ask this because you mentioned that you get a check. Like I said, I never
I
really
I have brain tumors.
say what.
I have you said yeah, I have brain tumors, so I'm on permanent disability.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was
Wow.
born with them, so yeah.
So they're are they inoperable?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Does it affect you in any way, like balance wise or
Yeah. I
physically?
get severe migraines. I forget a lot. I was supposed to be dead before I got to five. Then when from five, they said 10. Every year is an extra 5 years added. They said I would never be able to learn, graduate high school, graduate college, and I've done all the three and
Come
going
on, Jesus.
for culinary arts in
Come
June.
on, Jesus.
So like y'all ain't finna put me in a little fucking box and tell me what I can and can't do.
Let me ask this. Well, with regards to the foster caring, so you say that the people actually get a check for it. After
Mhm.
you adopt a child, do you still collect a check, or that's
Not
done
at-
after you
but
adopt them?
just when you're fostering them.
Oh, when you're fostering them, you actually get a check.
Hmm.
Okay. So when you adopt them, they become your child, and you
Yeah,
just support them like you do your
and-
own kids.
exactly. So when people don't understand, when you get a child that's sick and has a disability, you get paid twice as much. My foster parent was getting 2,500 a week for me.
$2,000 a week,
Hmm.
and they couldn't buy you clothes.
They couldn't buy me nothing. They said this money is not for you. This money is for me, for you eating, shitting, and showering and shaving in my house.
$2,000 a week, and they couldn't buy you clothes.
Hmm.
See, that is what I find to be very disturbing. Mayweather, your mouth is not math, and there are only 4 weeks in a month. Two times four is eight, not 10. Yeah, I will call you out about your mouth, Thor. So that's $10,000 a month. No, that's $8,000 a month. Wow, but I didn't know. I had no idea that that's why people are out here fostering kids. It's
Yes,
it's a it's
they
a
paid a
easy
lot.
source of income.
Yep. They,
I
and,
know.
and the foster homes that I was going to wasn't no apartments. They
She
was
did
like
not. Hold on, we gotta pause you.
I did say
Did
2,500.
did you say 2,500? Okay, I missed 25. I thought you said 2,000. Okay, okay. Now you let me clown him, and I was in the wrong. I thought we was better than that, Tina. Okay, well, $2,500 a week is 10,000. Okay, okay,
They,
my
they,
bad.
they was giving
I
like
own up to my wrongness in that. I apologize to
that's because they was having to take me back and forth to the hospitals and giving me medicine and stuff like that. And like I said, I was a handful.
$10,000 a month.
They get paid a pretty penny, and they was living in the suburban area, so the money had to fit with their lifestyle to keep up with their lifestyle.
Oh, but
Hmm.
still, $10,000 a month. I just don't see me not buying clothes and everything that you need and most of what you want if I'm getting $10,000
Oh,
for you just being.
they didn't make that much because it was a black Christian lady,
Oh,
and so she was like, "Oh, you da 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 da," and was making fun of how I came to her house. I said, "You know what? I played on her. I got a dog, got a ring, put it on a rope, and act like I was doing voodoo on a doll, and I was out of there within a month."
okay, you were a little bit slick with it too, weren't you?
I said, "You don't want me here, and I bit don't want to be here either."
Wow.
So they stopped putting me in black families and started putting me with the white people. Now the white people was treating me better than my own kind.
Ooh, now that's a conversation now.
Hmm.
Agreed, Thor. At least open up a savings account. That's my thing. Half of that money would be sitting in a savings account for those kids. And when you get grown, I will write you a check.
Now the money that they was getting, they was using it for their own kids.
That's awful. So did they not work then?
Oh, they still worked, but they was still using that money for using that money plus Basically, our money for them fostering us was used for their kids' lifestyle.
Horrifying. That is horrifying.
People go, "Oh, we're not doing this for the money." Then what else are you doing it for?
I would like to know if it's not. Yeah, like you said, if I'm not doing it for the money, then that money would be set aside for that child. That's
Mm.
crazy. Oh my God. Awful. Awful, awful, awful. I just don't know. Like, uh, I this has just really opened my eyes to the dangers of and just the suffering that people that go through the foster care system potentially face. And more times than not, I hear of children that have been used and abused in the foster care system. It's very rare that I'm trying to think if I've ever met a guest of mine that hasn't had a bad experience inside of the foster care system. I can't think of one. So I'm glad you mentioned the being placed in foster care systems with with white people or
Mhm.
people outside your own race. Because I have a friend on TikTok that was totally against transracial
No,
adoption.
that's the best. To me, at least for me, it was because even though it made me bougie as hell, because and I do not like black people food at all. I do not like greens. I don't like none of that crap.
Dressing.
I don't like dressing. I don't like okra. I don't like none of that.
So what you have for Christmas then?
What I do for Christmas, we do our own little rendition of Christmas. We do either seafood food boil, or I'll make some boiled chicken with with a sweet potato or some jasmine rice.
Oh God. See, well, here's the thing. When I think about, like, there's a video that was floating around TikTok. I actually did a spoof of. There was a white guy, that adopted this black baby, a little pretty black girl, and he got on and he was brushing this baby's hair so aggressively. This baby couldn't have been more than 3 or 4 weeks, and he was like, "This video is for the black people on TikTok. I have adopted this baby," as he's aggressively brushing, "and I don't know what to do with her hair. This is for the black people. Can you black people help me?" It burned my soul, as it did many other people on TikTok, to the point where he ended up having to just close his account out or start another account. It was really, really bad. And
Like,
that's what I think of when I think about transracial adoption. It's like you guys take, you go and become these white savior for these black kids, and then you treat them like pets or accessories or Birkin bags instead of humans. You know what I mean?
oh,
Is you don't recognize their culture at all. You divorce them from everything that makes them who they are. And to me, I think that can be quite damaging to a
yeah.
degree.
So
So, I mean,
like,
again, you know a little bit more about it, being that you were fostered by both black and white people. So,
these white people made it their life's mission to learn as much as they could learn in a short amount of time. And what they didn't learn, they took me to a hair salon,
a black hair
a
salon.
black hair salon.
Okay. So they really
Like,
tried.
yes, they was like, I know we don't know anything about. It was like an older white couple. We don't know anything about your race and what your hair care. What can we do to make you feel more comfortable? I'm like, huh? What?
Wow.
It's like, how do you want your hair? I'm like, in a ponytail with gel. Like,
Yeah.
it's like you don't have to do anything special. Like, I'm not used to that anyway. Like, I can walk around with a fro. I don't care.
Oh,
I
that's
don't care.
beautiful. But
Like,
they
what
tried.
they try. What do you want to eat? And back then, all the thing I really liked was macaroni and cheese and ham. If they made macaroni and cheese fresh and ham fresh every single day, I tell you, they did.
Wow.
They was like, "That's all you're gonna eat. We're not gonna starve you, okay?"
Oh, wow. Thor says now he wants to be a foster parent. Oh, that's cool because this is terrible. Yeah, it does make you want to get out there
Don't
and do something.
about time they done with your whole life. You gonna be wishing why.
Really.
It's gonna you're gonna go to parenting classes. They're gonna talk to your elementary, middle, high, college, every member in your family, your pastor, the
Oh,
Pope if you got one.
wow. Um. So, okay. Well, you had a really great experience with the white
Mm,
families. Well, are you in contact with any of your former foster families?
no, because after that situation happened with the serial rapist, that they just said that it will be best to not remain in contact because that they didn't know how my mental will handle being pulled from their family. So they was like it would be better that I forget about them, so to say.
Even the white family?
No, the white family wanted to adopt me, but about time that they would have came to that conclusion of adoption, I would have been done aged out already.
Oh. So, did you remain with them until you aged out, or you
No,
went
I had
somewhere else?
a group home
A
because
group.
they got too
Now,
old.
now, what I know of group homes was not great, and that's via
Oh no, the
DMX's
home that I
book.
was in, they was if I got raped with anything. When I got angry or just frustrated or my anxiety got high, they was like, well, when she's getting, flustered and aggravated, just put her in the car and go take her driving around the town or whatever. So every night I act like I was flustered so I could just get the hell away from the other kids. So basically anything I wanted, I got it. So my group home was amazing.
Your group home was not that bad.
No, it was not. I got away with everything.
Mayweather, this is off topic. Thor says he would not allow jail in his kid's hair after seeing what he did to his sister. What did he do to your sister? How often was she wearing it? Now, my
Well,
daughter doesn't. She doesn't do a whole lot with
let me
jail.
say not jail, but jam.
That's
Jam.
about the same thing to me.
No, jail jam does not make your hair hard. It make it's soft. Makes your
Okay, that's when you're just trying to slick your edges
yeah.
down.
So
Yeah, like I
gel
said.
gel is hard. Makes your hair hard like you're scraping a Brillo pad. But
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, my daughter has never like every now and then she'll do the little thing around the
yeah,
hairline, but she doesn't put gel in her hair either. So, look like your sister was weighing too much of it, Thor.
oh,
She thought that was just a thing. I don't know.
it done
It must
gave her
have broke her hair off.
Asian hairline. I don't like that for her.
Oh, that's funny. Oh
Look,
my god.
I'm getting too comfortable. Let me get the hell down.
That means I did my job. You comfortable? Okay. All right. Give me your final thoughts, and I will let you drop on down. Thor,
Okay.
if you want to come up, you can join me for a little while. I got a few more minutes I'll burn before I call it a night. I want to thank you, Miss Tina, for coming up. I want to thank you for sharing that testimony with us. It has been very invaluable to me, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people that will be watching this in the replay. Um, I just want to say thank you for sharing that testimony. You know what I mean? My thoughts and prayers are all will be with you as you continue your healing journey. I'm wishing you and your wife the best as you continue on life together. I'm happy that you found somebody or that somebody found you. And you love that person. That person loves you and is providing all those things that you may have missed along the way. I know I feel that way about my own wife. So I just want to say thank you so much. It's always
You
great to have a special guest. Go ahead and give me your final thoughts, and then you're welcome to drop on down.
have fun, watch the game, and yeah, so we can have this discussion.
Squid Game.
Yes, watch
Okay.
the
I like the
game,
game. That show has been off air for years.
watch it because man, you
Yes,
got
as soon as this live ends tonight, I am heading into Squid Games. Listen, people, next week is going to be dedicated to Squid Games. I don't care if it ain't but me and Tina up here talking about this
mm,
thing. We are going to talk about Squid Games 2. Season 1 is already done. It's been over for years now. Season 2 is out. You guys have 1 week to watch Squid Game 2. And next week is going to be a fun show because this one was so serious. We're going to have us a fun show where we discuss Squid Games. I'm sorry. Go ahead and continue. They're about to
That's
call you.
what I say. Y'all be blessed.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you so much again. And you're welcome to stick around. I'll drop you back on in the comments. It's just me. Thor Mayweather, do you want to come up before we end this thing? We had such a wonderful conversation on last week, and I'm happy to see you back. I went back and watched the live show, which is something I rarely do. But now that we're on YouTube, it automatically saves. So I retitled it because what we started off talking about was not where we ended. And it turned into a wonderful conversation. I was just so thankful to have you as my very first official YouTube guest. And this week was Miss Tina. And she was just absolutely wonderful in her testimony. So, yeah, you can come on up. We got a couple of things I can run through with you, and then I'm going to call it a night. I guess I would have to send the link to you again. Drop your email address and I'll send you that link again. The link is still this. I'm wondering, Thor, do you still have my email from last week? Because I'm wondering, is it the same exact link or is it a new link every time? That's what I really need to know. Do you still have the email from last week? I mean, I can send it to you again, but I would like to know if it's the same link every time. Okay. Thor, well, see, we're learning as we go. So we're gonna see. Thor's gonna see if the link that I sent to him last time will work. And that way I know that I could just hit copy and send it out every single time, the same exact link, and we'll be good to go. So once you have it one time, anytime you want to pop up on the show, you can. So we'll be once we get this thing popping, it'll be days where I'll just rotate from guest to guest when we're on a serious or even a fun topic. So we're just getting started. I'm learning as I go. I'm just proud of myself for having gotten this far with regards to it. You'll have to send it again. Okay, no problem. Give me your drop your email address in the comment section, and I will send that link to you. Boom, 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 boom. Type it up. We got 4 people here. How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you all for joining me tonight. We're approaching the 90-minute mark. We had a wonderful interview with Miss Tina. She was absolutely wonderful and so gracious to share her testimony with us tonight. So the show will be reposted after it ends tonight, and I want you guys to go back and watch it and support it. I'm trying to get those watch hours up. I need you guys to like, share, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. I'm going to be here each and every week, and the content is going to get better and better as we go along. I'm just getting started here on my YouTube journey with regards to going live. This is technically only my 3rd live, so I thank you all for joining me at the very beginning as I take on this new venture. We're approaching 6,000 subscribers, and that's solely based on the content that I've been doing. We're going to continue on doing that, but these lives are going to get bigger and more grand. So just stick around. It's gonna be a great ride. But again, I got to work some bugs out and get everything in line so we can get this thing just right for everybody. Thor, I'm waiting on that email address, sir. Could you drop it in the comment section because I don't have it. Also, for the people that are still sitting here, did any of you guys watch The Lion King, Mufasa, The Lion King? And will you be watching Squid Games too? I need to know. Let me know. Drop it in the chat. Thor, what's going on, sir? I'm waiting on you to put the email address in. All right. Um, so nobody saw Squid Games and nobody saw uh you already did. I don't see it, brother. You did not. Did you must have typed, did you do it wrong or because it's not showing on my side? Imagine the Gorilla Glue lady. No, sir, I don't see that email address. Danielle Henderson. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? You did what, Danielle? What did you do? Is that you, Miss Tina? That's Tina. You did what? Oh, we know you did, Tina. Don't be confusing me. Don't be confusing me. Thor, I need that email address, sir. You're holding up the progress. I don't know what he's doing. I really don't. I have no idea what he's doing. Um. Okay, I'm gonna give him a couple of minutes, and then we're gonna wrap this thing on up. Is there anything else we wanna? I wanna that's been going on that I wanted to discuss before we got out of here. I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. TikTok's about to be banned. I don't care anything about that Trump miss. They deserved it. Mufasa was not great. Yeah, Kerry Washington. That movie was just okay. I think that's everything. I'm trying to make sure that I did not miss anything tonight. Mm-mm. As soon as I hit this button, I'm gonna remember everything I wanted to talk about. That's what happens when you get old. How was your Christmas, Danielle? Did Santa bring you some special gifts? My Christmas was very hectic, but it was a beautiful experience. Was your Christmas good, Tina? No. Oh, do you guys have any special New Year's plans? Are you going to be popping fireworks or doing anything special? Nope, it was okay. My Christmas was really, really good. I'm excited. Well, me and my wife don't really exchange gifts for real anymore. You know, it's just pretty much all about the kids. But I did purchase us tickets to see Mary J. Blige in February. Our birthday, my wife's birthday is in February. So it'll be our Valentine's gift and our first real date in quite some time. We do everything with our kids, and we rarely leave home. So my daughter's going to babysit my son, and we are going to see the queen of hip hop soul, Miss Mary J. Blige. It'll be my second time seeing her. We saw her a couple of years back, right after her and Kendu broke up. And it was a very good concert. So this will be our second time seeing her. I'm super excited. I'm really hoping you sent that on TikTok. Why did you do that? Why do not you just drop it in the chat, dude? We ain't got but a handful of people here. Drop it in the chat. I don't want to have to come out of here. It's gonna make my screen go black, I'm afraid. Okay, hold on, folks. My screen's gonna go black.